fear border riders.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, fear and me are never in the same sentence, Honorable Speaker. But allow me, Honorable Speaker, to second this motion by the Committee for Transport and Infrastructure to discharge the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, which, Honorable Speaker, as many members may have noted, even the name itself, I don't know, I know Dr. Khalwale is a medical doctor, but English, I think, is he should have borrowed some better English from this assembly. But as a mover has said, this being a bill, a private member's bill that came from the Senate, and Senator Khalwale, who was the proposer of this bill, has written seeking to withdraw. But as the Honorable Kajwang has said, and as was noted by the Speaker in his communication, there is no process of a senator withdrawing anything from this House. Whether he is a sponsor of a bill or motion that has been processed and finalized within the Senate and it comes to this House, it is only the motions of this House and our procedures that can then discharge or withdraw such a bill. And therefore, let it be a lesson not just to Senator Khalwale but to the other senators that if you want to propose legislation, be man enough to be able to bear the consequences of the choices that you make, because we've previously been told that choices have consequences. Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with the mover, Honorable Kajwang, that if you intend to be a governor of a county, you will be required to make hard decisions and the right decisions on behalf of the people. That is what leadership calls for. As a leader, time and again you'll be called upon to make decisions, some that may not be popular with the masses, but are the right decisions. And how I wish Senator Boni Khalwale had allowed leadership to take charge of his decisions other than political expediency. Because the decision to withdraw this bill by the Honorable Senator Boni Khalwale is more of political expediency and playing to the gallery than being a leader. And probably the people of Kakamega are the ones to judge whether that is somebody they would trust to lead other than politic. Because it is very easy to politic and shout in funerals, in political rallies, but to offer leadership is a different issue altogether, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I want to agree with the Honorable TJ Kajwang that there is need to offer leadership in regulating how our transport sector, right from our trains under Kenya Railways, to our buses and matatu sector, all the way down to the use of private vehicles, and including border borders, Honorable Speaker. Because it is chaotic to drive on Kenyan roads, Honorable Speaker. As Honorable TJ says, it is more dangerous to check what is on your right than on your left today. Because people overtake, you expect that people will be overtaking on your right because we drive on the left, we are left, it's called what? Right-hand drive cars, and we keep left on our roads. But people overtake from the left, from your right, join the roads from every other corner, overtake at all manner of places, including blind spots, Honorable Speaker. Passengers on motorcycles, and you'll be shocked, Honorable Speaker. Somebody the other day narrated to us in the House Business Committee how he witnessed 3 policemen, and shockingly, traffic policemen, spy on passengers on a border. Those are the people who are supposed to be enforcing the law to make sure that every border has one pylon passenger, Honorable Speaker. But you find policemen are the ones flouting the same laws, Honorable Speaker, that they are supposed to be enforcing. Therefore, that tells you the need to have proper legislation and to ensure that the same laws that are there are enforced, Honorable Speaker. Because, Honorable Speaker, if we allow the chaos that are in the public sector today to continue, And you've seen, Honorable Speaker, I saw sometime last year or early this year, the hue and cry that was there over a matatu that was said to be owned by a son of a prominent politician in this country. One matatu. And it becomes very fashionable to bash that one matatu, I think, that was plying either the Gong or Rongai route, not even knowing whether it was owned by the son to the president, because it was said it was owned to the son of the president, who is a student, by the way, who is in school. But because that was being sold as that, everybody on social media was there admonishing. Remember, last year, Honorable Speaker, I saw an incident where a lady collided, I think, with a boda somewhere in Kitengela. And Kenyans will recall the chaotic scenes of her car being vandalized by other boda riders, her being assaulted, including police officers who were in the vicinity being stoned as they tried to protect that driver, Honorable Speaker. That chaos, that scenario of chaos cannot be allowed to continue being so. But we have a duty as leaders to also protect the livelihoods of our young people who are making an income out of the boda sector. And we must protect them. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with Honorable TJ Kajwang that the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure in this House must take it upon themselves, one, to make sure that there is proper order in the public transport sector, not just bodas, the matatu sector. Many of us miss the Michuki days, and I hope CS Davis Chirchir is listening. It took the late CS Michuki less than 2 weeks to create order in what was otherwise a very disorderly sector. But after Michuki left us, we are slowly creeping back to the old days. I remember in my village, we had small matatus we used to call ngovis. Small Mitsubishi Colts that would carry close to 30 people. But with Meshuki rules, that Colt was only licensed to carry 12 people. Now we have Nissan Matatus. They were called Ngovi. Or Tongovi. I may not know what it means in other communities, Honorable Speaker, from your reaction and that of Honorable TJ Kajwang, it probably has another connotation where you come from. Yeah. But it's because there were very rickety cars and small, and we used to be packed there like sacks of potatoes. But when the former Minister Mishuki came in and created order to ensure that we had safety belts, but today, Honorable Speaker, just get into any matatu. How many matatus have safety belts today? How many of them adhere to the speed limits that were set? Yet every day, Kenyans are crying over accidents and losing their families and relatives and friends through road accidents. Sadly, Honorable Speaker, I'm told only this week or last week, there was a headline in one of the dailies where now border accidents have overtaken all other forms of accidents in terms of fatalities. Borders are killing more Kenyans and maiming many more than matatus, more than buses, more than trains, more than aeroplanes. Honorable Speaker, we have a responsibility to do that which is right but may not be popular, to protect the lives and livelihoods of our young people. Because the people who are dying out of these border accidents are not old people, Honorable Speaker. It is young people who are the riders. It is other young people who are passengers, Honorable Speaker. Not to say that older people are not dying from these accidents. Sadly, today I remember the late Honorable Hassan Kulo, the late Member of Parliament for Banisa. The people of Banisa constituency today do not have a representative and have stayed without a representative for close to a year now. Why? Out of a motor accident occasioned by a border. Why? Because we don't adhere to the rules that are there. You are carrying, I remember the case of the late Honorable Kulo. I think it was gas cylinders or some cylinders that were, or mitungis that were tied onto the border on both sides. And it's actually the luggage or whatever cylinders that were tied to the border that hit him and led to his death, Honorable Speaker. That may be a member of parliament, and we may think, Honorable Speaker, or probably Honorable Boni Khalwale may imagine that he cannot get to him because he's a member of parliament. He has a privilege of having a big car. But you never know, Honorable Speaker. We all walk on these roads. We drive on the same roads with the same border riders. If we do not create order, we will only have ourselves to blame. We must not wait for that time of regret. We must do that which is right. Have laws that will regulate the entire public transport sector, Honorable Speaker. Look at our trains, Honorable Speaker. At times, you only thank God during rush hour on some routes, I don't want to name many of those routes, where passengers are even riding on top of the train, not in the train, not hanging on the train, on top of the train. And you imagine in some places, the train goes through tunnels and bridges, and people have to keep ducking as it goes through the bridge. Where is order, Honorable Speaker, in this sector? Do we still have a cabinet secretary in charge of this sector? Yet we have a whole state department in charge of transport. How many Kenyans know who the PS for transport is? Honorable Speaker. I am certain if I asked even members here who the principal secretary in charge of transport is, they do not know. You can hear members asking. That is why we miss the late John Mishuki. How I wish Honorable Senator Khalwale would get the balls of the late Honorable John Mishuki. But we live to do what is right, and I do pray that the Committee of Transport and Infrastructure, which the Honorable TJ Kajwang is a ranking member of, will act to make sure that we have order in the entire sector, Honorable Speaker. So that when we speak about telematics in traffic control in Nairobi and other urban centers, systems alone will not deal with the problem. It has to be systems and our own habits as we drive, as we walk, as we ride on these roads, Honorable Speaker. But if we, whatever manner of traffic control systems that we put in the city and other areas, if we do not have the discipline to use them, Honorable Speaker, they will all be investments in futility and a waste of public resources unless we change our attitudes, our behavior, and ensure that all these public sector modes of transport from border, matatus, private vehicles to the train are well and properly regulated. And I look forward to the day that this committee will bring as a law that will serve to create some order in this area, Honorable Speaker. But with that, I beg to second the discharge of this bill by the Honorable Senator for Kakamega, who I would also urge next time, before you sit and formulate legislation, think through and decide whether you want to do that which is right or that which is popular. If you want to be popular all the time throughout your political career, then don't seek a leadership position. Go and sell ice cream. That one you will make people happy all the time. Otherwise, in this business that we are in, we're in the business where at times you will make people happy. At times, they will be unhappy with you. But if you are doing the right thing, at the end of the day, they will come to realize that that which you are doing was in their best interest. And that is why they trusted you with leadership, so that you lead and they follow. And you lead so that you get the best out of them and for them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Honorable members, I now propose the question that notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 127 5, and taking into consideration the request of the Senate for withdrawal of the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulations Bill, Senate Bill number 38 of 2023, this House resolved to discharge the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bill number 38 of 2023, from the second reading. The Honorable Dr. Wilberforce Oundo, the MP for Funyula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.